You saw the signs. She laughed at everything you said. She touched your arm twice. She texted you first that night, and you still weren't sure if she liked you. Here's the truth. Most men never want to admit the problem isn't that women don't show attraction. The problem is that most men have never been taught how to read it. Because women don't express attraction the way men do. They don't walk up and say it directly. They communicate through behavior, through energy, through small, consistent actions that speak louder than any words ever could. And when you don't know what to look for, you miss all of it. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 powerful signs that a woman is highly attracted to you. Signs rooted in psychology. Signs that are already happening around you right now. Pay close attention, because after this, you'll never miss them again. Let's start with the most powerful signal of all, eye contact. Now, before you think I already know this one, stay with me. Because there's a massive difference between eye contact that's just polite and eye contact that reveals something much deeper. Most people make eye contact in conversation. That's normal. That's basic social behavior. But when a woman is attracted to you, the way she looks at you completely changes. And once you know what to look for, you'll never confuse the two again. Here's what it looks like in real life. Imagine you're in a group setting. Friends, co-workers, a casual gathering. Multiple conversations are happening at once. But no matter what's going on around her, her eyes keep finding you. Not in an obvious, dramatic way. Subtly, naturally. Like her attention is being pulled in your direction without her even realizing it. Or picture this. You're talking, and she's listening, really listening. Her eyes stay locked on yours just a little longer than feels normal. Then she looks away, and a few seconds later, she looks back. That brief look away followed by a return. That's not nervousness. That's interest. Psychologists call this the gaze effect. Studies show that prolonged eye contact triggers the release of oxytocin, the same chemical connected to trust, bonding, and emotional closeness. In other words, her eyes aren't just looking at you. They're connecting with you on a level that goes beyond words. There's another layer most men completely miss. Watch her eyes when she's laughing. When something genuinely amuses her in a group, where does she look first? People instinctively look toward the person they feel most connected to when they laugh. If her eyes find you in that split second, even for just a moment, that tells you something important. Now here's where most men go wrong. The moment strong eye contact happens, they panic. They look away too fast. They get nervous. They break the connection because they don't know how to handle the attention, and in doing so, they accidentally signal insecurity, exactly the opposite of what attraction needs. A Stoic man responds differently. He doesn't stare. He doesn't perform. He simply holds the moment calm, grounded, present, a slight smile, a relaxed expression, nothing forced, nothing exaggerated, just a quiet confidence that says, I see you, and I'm not afraid of this moment. That kind of response is rare, and it's magnetic. Because here's what most men don't understand. The way you receive her attention matters just as much as the attention itself. When you stay composed under her gaze, you're demonstrating emotional control. And emotional control, to a woman, is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have. So the next time you feel that eye contact linger, don't run from it. Stay in it. Breathe. Smile naturally. Let the moment exist. You don't need to say a word. Sometimes the most powerful conversations happen entirely in silence. But eye contact is just the beginning. The second sign, she might be doing it right now without even realizing it. Let's talk about something most men notice but almost never correctly interpret. Touch. Not obvious touch. Not dramatic touch. The small kind. The kind that happens so naturally, so briefly, that you almost wonder if it even meant anything at all. It meant something. Here's what you need to understand first. Women are extremely aware of personal space. More than most men realize. They know consciously or not exactly how close they're standing to someone, exactly where their hands are, and exactly who they choose to close that distance with. That awareness doesn't switch off, which means when a woman reaches out and touches you, it's never truly accidental. Here's what it looks like in real life. You say something that makes her laugh, and in that moment, her hand lands on your arm. Just for a second, light, natural, almost like she didn't plan it. Or you're standing next to each other and she notices something on your jacket. She reaches over and fixes it, quietly, without making a big deal of it. Or her hand brushes against yours when she passes you something, and instead of pulling away immediately, it lingers, just a half second longer than necessary. Individually, each of these moments can seem like nothing, but pay attention to the pattern, because when these small touches happen repeatedly in different situations, at different times they're telling you something she may not be ready to say out loud yet. From a psychological standpoint, touch is one of the most primal ways humans build connection. Physical contact, even brief. Subtle contact releases oxytocin, lowers emotional walls, and creates a sense of closeness that words alone can't manufacture. When a woman initiates that contact with you, she's not just being friendly, she's closing distance, emotionally and physically. At the same time, there's a detail here most men overlook completely. A woman who feels no attraction maintains very clear physical boundaries. Interactions stay formal. Distance stays consistent. She's polite, but intouchable. When those boundaries start to soften, when she starts finding small reasons to be physically closer to you, that shift is meaningful. That shift is intentional even when it looks effortless. Now here's where most men go wrong. Two reactions. Both kill the moment. The first, overreaction. The touch happens, and suddenly his energy changes completely. He gets excited, nervous, overly aware. She feels it immediately. The naturalness disappears, and with it, the comfort she was beginning to feel. The second, freezing. He becomes so conscious of the moment that he turns rigid, awkward, like he's afraid to move in case he breaks something. A Stoic man does neither. He receives the touch the same way he receives everything else, with calm, quiet confidence. He doesn't make it a moment. He just lets it be what it is. Natural. Ease. Comfortable. He might smile slightly. He might continue the conversation without missing a beat. His composure communicates something powerful without a single word. I'm comfortable here. And so can you be. That ease, that unshakable calm, is what makes her want to close the distance again. Because touch, at its core, is about comfort. And comfort grows fastest around a man who never makes a woman feel like her small gestures are being overanalyzed or misread. The less you react, the more she'll reach. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The third sign has nothing to do with touch or eye contact. It's about something she does with her words, and it reveals more about her feelings than almost anything else on this list. Most people listen to reply, She listens to remember, and that difference, that one small difference, reveals more about her feelings than almost anything else she could ever do. Here's something worth thinking about. In a world full of distractions, genuine attention has become incredibly rare. Most conversations today are half listened to. People nod while scrolling. They hear words but retain nothing. They're physically present but mentally somewhere else entirely. So when someone actually listens, really listens, it means something. It means they care. And caring, at its core, is where attraction begins. Here's what this looks like in real life. 3 weeks ago, you mentioned almost in passing that you'd been stressed about a project at work. You didn't make a big deal of it. It was a small detail buried inside a longer conversation. You probably forgot you even said it. She didn't. This week, out of nowhere, she asks, "Hey, how did that project turn out? Did things get better?" That moment should stop you. Because she didn't have to remember that. There was no reason to hold on to that detail, except that she was paying attention closely, because you matter to her in a way she may not have said directly yet. That's not a coincidence. That's emotional investment. Psychologically, memory is deeply connected to emotion. We naturally retain information about the things and people we genuinely care about. The details that matter to us stick. The ones that don't fade almost immediately. When she remembers the small things, your stories, your preferences, the name of your dog, the thing that made you laugh last Tuesday, she's not doing it consciously. She's doing it because her mind has quietly decided that you're worth holding on to. There's another layer to this sign that most men miss completely. Watch how she engages during the actual conversation. A woman who feels attraction doesn't just wait for her turn to speak. She leans in, sometimes literally. She asks follow-up questions that show she was tracking every word. She connects what you're saying now to something you mentioned before. She's building a picture of you, piece by piece, because she wants to understand you, not just hear you. And here's the part that separates this sign from all the others. This one is nearly impossible to fake. Eye contact can be performed. Touch can be accidental. Even making time can sometimes be explained away. But genuine listening, the kind that shows up weeks later in a quiet, unexpected question that comes from somewhere real. You can't manufacture that kind of attention. It has to be felt first. Now here's where most men go wrong. They treat conversation like a stage. They focus so much on what to say next, how to sound interesting, how to impress her, that they stop actually connecting. And she feels that immediately. The energy shifts from genuine exchange to performance. And performance, no matter how polished, never creates the same warmth as authenticity. A Stoic man understands this. He doesn't perform. He participates. He listens just as carefully as she does. He asks questions that show he was paying attention. He remembers the details she shares, not as a strategy, but because he's genuinely present in the conversation. And that mutual presence, two people actually hearing each other, creates a connection that no amount of charm or clever lines ever could. Because at the end of the day, everyone wants the same thing: to be heard, to be remembered, to matter to someone. When she shows you that you matter, pay attention. That's not a small thing. That's everything. But what if she's doing something that looks like the complete opposite of interest, challenging you, arguing with you, even making fun of you? That's sign number 4. And it might be the most misunderstood signal on this entire list. Let me ask you something. Has a woman ever made fun of you and it somehow felt good? She mocked the way you pronounced something. She brought up that embarrassing story you told 2 weeks ago just to watch you squirm. She rolled her eyes at your joke, smiled anyway, and said you're actually the worst. And instead of feeling offended, you felt something else entirely. That wasn't an accident. Here's what most men get completely wrong about this sign. When a woman teases you, the instinct is to either get defensive or to overthink it. Is she being rude? Does she actually not respect me? Maybe she's not interested after all. Stop, because you're reading it backwards. Playful teasing is not a sign of disinterest. It's one of the clearest signs of emotional investment there is. And once you understand why, you'll never misread it again. Think about it this way. Teasing requires effort. It requires attention. She has to remember what you said. Notice your habits. Track your reactions, and then craft something designed specifically to get a response out of you. That's not what someone does when they're indifferent. Indifference looks like polite smiles and forgettable small talk. Teasing looks like someone who's been paying close attention and enjoying every second of it. Here's what it looks like in real life. You walk in wearing a new jacket. Before you even sit down, she's already looking at it with that expression, the one that means something's coming. Did you actually buy that on purpose? She asks. Completely straight-faced. You laugh. She laughs. And somehow, in that 10-second exchange, the two of you just got closer. Or she remembers weeks later that you confidently mispronounced a word in front of everyone, and she brings it back, not to embarrass you, but because she knows you can handle it, because she feels comfortable enough around you to go there, and because watching you laugh at yourself is something she genuinely enjoys. That comfort, that's the key word here. Psychologically, playful teasing only happens when someone feels genuinely safe around another person. It requires a foundation of trust. You don't tease someone you're nervous around. You don't joke with someone you're trying to impress from a distance. Teasing is what happens when the walls come down, when she stops performing and starts actually playing. And play, between two people, is one of the earliest and most honest forms of connection. There's another layer here worth understanding. When she teases you, she's also testing something, not in a manipulative way, but naturally. She wants to see how you handle it. Do you get defensive? Do you shrink? Do you try too hard to fire something back and miss completely? Or do you stay relaxed? Smile. Meet her energy without effort, because that response, that effortless calm, is what she's actually looking for underneath the joke. A Stoic man doesn't take the bait, and he doesn't ignore it either. He plays naturally, without trying too hard and without making it a competition. He matches her energy with his own quiet humor. He laughs at himself when it's warranted. He fires something back when the moment calls for it. And then he lets it go without holding on to it, without overanalyzing it, without turning a light moment into something heavy. That ease is magnetic. Because in a world full of men who either get defensive or try too hard, a man who can simply play, stay grounded, and make her laugh in return is genuinely rare. And rare, to a woman who's paying attention, is incredibly attractive. So the next time she teases, you don't defend yourself. Don't overthink it. Just smile. Stay in it. Enjoy the moment for exactly what it is. She's not pushing you away. She's pulling you closer. The 4 signs so far: eye contact, touch, listening, teasing, they're powerful. But the 5th sign, this is the one that separates genuine attraction from everything else. And it's hiding in plain sight. Let's get one thing straight. Everybody is busy. We all have work, responsibilities, obligation, and 1,000 small things pulling our attention in different directions every single day. Time is the one resource nobody ever seems to have enough of. And yet people always find time for what truly matters to them. Always. That's not a motivational quote. That's just human nature. When something or someone genuinely matters to a person, they don't wait for a perfect opening in their schedule. They create one, quietly, consistently, without making a big announcement about it. And that consistent effort, that repeated, unprompted choice to show up, is one of the most honest signals of attraction you will ever see. Here's what it looks like in real life. She had plans that evening. Real plans, not made-up ones. But when you mentioned you'd be at that place, something shifted. Suddenly her plans got rearranged. Not dramatically, not obviously, just quietly reorganized so that her evening ended up in the same direction as yours. Or think about the small moments. She texts you first, not because she needed something, not because she had news to share, but simply because you crossed her mind and she wanted to reach out. She keeps conversations going long past the natural ending point. She suggests things, a coffee, a walk, a show you mentioned once that she remembered, because she's looking for reasons to extend the time you spend together. None of these things are accidental. They are choices, made repeatedly, over time. And repeated choices reveal real priorities. Psychologically, time investment is one of the purest indicators of emotional value. We are protective of our time by nature. We guard it, manage it, and spend it carefully whether we realize it or not. When a person begins consistently redirecting their time towards someone else, it means that person has moved up in their internal hierarchy, not just as a passing interest, as something that actually matters. Here's what separates this sign from all the others. It can't be faked over time. A woman can smile politely once. She can make eye contact by accident. She can touch your arm in a single unguarded moment. But consistent effort showing up again and again, across different days, different situations, different moods that requires something real underneath it. You cannot sustain consistent behavior towards someone you don't genuinely care about. Eventually, the effort fades. The responses slow down. The availability quietly disappears. When it doesn't disappear, when it actually grows, pay attention. Now here's the part most men get completely wrong. They notice the effort, they feel the warmth of it, and then they take it for granted. They stop reciprocating. They become passive. They let her carry the weight of the connection alone because the attention feels comfortable, and they assume it will simply continue on its own. It won't. A Stoic man understands something fundamental about this. Attraction is not a destination you arrive at and then stop moving. It's a dynamic, something that grows when both people invest, and quietly fades when only one person does. When she makes time for you, make time for her. Not desperately, not performatively, but genuinely. Match her effort with your own presence. Show up. Follow through. Let your actions communicate the same thing hers are communicating. Because here's the truth that most men never fully grasp. A woman who consistently makes time for you, who rearranges her day, initiates contact, and finds reasons to stay connected, is not just showing attraction, she's showing trust. She's deciding, quietly and repeatedly, that you are worth her most limited resource. Don't make her regret that decision. Appreciate it. Reciprocate it. Protect it. Because when effort flows genuinely in both directions, that's not just attraction anymore. That's the beginning of something real. Now that you know all 5 signs, here's the part most videos never tell you. And it might be the most important thing you hear today. Remember the guy at the beginning of this video, the one who saw every single sign and still walked away unsure? Don't be him. Attraction is already happening around you. In the eyes that linger a little too long, in the hand that finds a reason to reach, in the questions she asks about things you said weeks ago, in the jokes designed specifically for you, in the time she quietly rearranges just to be near you. You don't need to chase. You don't need to guess. You just need to see clearly. A man who understands attraction doesn't panic. He doesn't perform. He simply shows up calm, confident, and present. That's the man women remember. If this video opened your eyes, subscribe. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And drop a comment below telling me which signs surprised you the most. I'll see you in the next one.